Guys, what's up? It's Frequency Control Show. The last
What
one
up?
of the new year. We got me
Oh
and
yeah,
Willie
this is it.
up in
This is it.
Yeah. All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Getting back on track.
This is back on track.
Oh, this is perfect too
Yeah.
for the end of the year.
End of the year, getting
Oh
back to
man.
stuff. Probably didn't complete or get done what you wanted to get done. All the great things you set out to do and didn't do probably even near it. Didn't even start it probably. Life gets in the way. Like, for instance, last night I had all these things planned. I was going to do it from 6 to 9. Next thing you know, I'm getting tired. I'm like, I'll just go to bed early, start on it early, fresh in the morning. I'll have a good sleep or a good rest. I'll get up in the morning early, knock out all my other work stuff, and get cracking in the morning. And guess what? Halfway through the day, my wife calls me, yo, I need you to come out to my salon and help me fix the door. It's sticking. Could you please do that? And I'm like, oh my God. So now I got to spend 2 hours driving on the way. Now I'm mad about that, but really, where did it fail? It failed because I procrastinated the night before. If I had finished my stuff the night before, I wouldn't have let life get in the way the next day and stop me from doing it. So you put things off for the next day. Imagine the next day is going to have its own obstacles and things that are going to block you from doing what you want to do. So if you can, get it done now. Get past that sleep. Get past the I'm tired. And just go sit in front of whatever it is you're supposed to do with the little tiring and see if you wake up while you're trying it. So anyway, I'm sure you have some notes about this because you were kind of dead set on this is what it's about.
Yeah, so getting back on track. Well, I just kind of noticed some things too, and this is perfect closing out the year. Closing out the last show we talked about, I was talking about how, I didn't reach my goals that I had set out this time last year. And, I know exactly why. And that is, so many things I did not do the right things consistently long enough. I have not taken the correct amount of action that it takes to achieve the things you want to achieve. So that's why getting back on track, I just wanted to touch, I've noticed, I haven't been doing the little things. And the little things like reading, listening to audio. I'm going to keep looking at my notes here because I want to make. I haven't been, I slept off again on the daily takeoff checklist. Haven't been listening to the chill music overnight that I usually listen to. And the result of that is I've noticed myself having more negative conversations in my head about situations that hasn't even happened yet. And the things I'm imagining are kind of negative, and I kind of started to struggle financially and making bad financial decisions. And I'm thinking of conversations I might have that is the correct adult way to be handling the certain situations I find myself in due to the decisions I've made to follow my desires, jump off cliffs and things like that, but I haven't, but I just noticed just not doing the little things has a negative impact on my daily life and my daily mentality, the daily conversations I'm having with myself and things like that. And I've noticed it's just so funny because you talk about, the information talks about you become what you think about most of the time. And I'm finding myself thinking about negative things a lot of the time when I'm not doing the little things I should be doing to boost my mindset. And it has impacted. So I've started to attract things and started to do things, and the actions I'm taking and creating failure habits because I'm not focusing. I'm not doing the little things to boost my mindset and my energy in a positive way. So then I finally got back on my grind, and I really started diving into this, to my daily takeoff checklist that should be in the description. Download for free. Audio series is coming. It's done. It'll be coming soon. So you can listen to the audios. You can repeat it. The daily takeoff checklist. There's a description that explains the things I put in there. Blah blah blah. So I started doing that. I started listening to some audio, listening to that chill music at a certain frequency, music that, promotes, lets go of blockage in your system. And all of a sudden, all my thinking changed. I started feeling better. I started having positive conversations. The conversations in my head, the things that I was going to be talking about, wishing people Happy New Year's and stuff like that, completely changed what I was going to do. My thinking completely changed. The conversations in my head completely changed. All of a sudden, I'm not thinking of these childish way to deal with things I'm going through, and realize I need to be the adult and be the better person, and just be better, be a better version of myself. And that's what's going to create better opportunities in my life to fix some of these things, these situations I'm going through, and make them better because I'm better. But it wasn't until I started doing these little things, reading, I started listening to audio more. I need to be reading more. I need to read more. But reading the daily takeoff checklist and listen to this music overnight and listen to the music as I'm walking around thinking, man, and really thinking about the things I want and focusing less on what I'm going through and how much I want to be out of the situation I'm currently in, what I don't want. I notice myself focusing on the things I don't want to be going on and not focusing on the things I do want. And this is what happens when I start separating myself from the little things I need to be doing to promote the proper mindset and the proper energy when I'm, vulnerable and everything else I'm doing. Man, it's so huge to get back on track and do the little things that you need to be doing that helps you achieve the things you want to do. And I really started noticing it, I love being successful at my job, but I notice when I'm away from my job and I'm at home walking around like I do and pacing and thinking, I'm always thinking of scenarios about my job. I'm thinking about how awesome it feels to be number one in the region in sales in my job. And I have conversations in my head about that because that's what makes me feel good, is, being successful. But I notice at home when I'm away from the job, I'm thinking about the job more than I'm thinking about what I want. So here I am walking around, but here's what happens. I'm going to break this down, okay? I'm walking around outside of my job. I am at my home thinking about my job 100% of the time and how great it feels to be successful and how much I'm going to murder everybody every single week. I've got 2 trophies next to my business cards because I'm the number one salesman every month. I get a trophy, so when a customer comes and they look and there's the other specialist, who do they want to talk to? The business card holder with 0 trophies or the business card holder with 2 trophies. And here I'm about to get a third and have a trophy behind those 2. And then we're just going to make a whole certain, you know what I'm talking about? So I'm at home and I'm thinking about this and my sales are going up at my job. I'm getting more opportunities to create more sales at my job. Having, I'm just killing it at my job because it's all I'm thinking about is my job and killing it at my job. And I am killing it at my job. And I am not killing it. And here's the thing. I want to work. I want to put myself in a position that I don't have to go to that job anymore. And this is the only time I'm going to tell you what I don't want. I want to tell you what I do want, but I have to keep that personal. I can't tell you what I do want because I have to keep that to myself energy-wise and things like that. I need to keep that to myself. So this is the only time I'll tell you what I don't want. I even don't want to tell you what I don't want, but I'm going to. But I don't want to be at my job anymore. There's other things I want to do. But I'm so obsessed with success at my job that all I'm achieving in my life is success at my job. And I come home and I'm walking around thinking about success at my job, and I'm not walking around living like what life is going to be like when I don't have to go back there. See, so I am obsessed with succeeding at my job, and that's all I'm getting is major success at my job. But I am not at home away from that job, living my life what I want outside of that job. And and it just so happens I'm not reaching my goals at the end of this year that I set out to where, once again, I don't have to go back there anymore. And this is the key point. You see, getting back on track, and here, man, this is how important this information is. So you people are even able to realize this. How are you even able to realize what you're doing and why you're only successful here and you're not, we're not, I'm not, achieving the goals I want to achieve because I'm not living my life like I'm achieving what I want. I am constantly in my mind obsessed with winning at my job, and that is all that's happening in my life is winning at my job. But then there's the other side of it. I start thinking about how much, again, talk about what I don't want, how I don't want to be there, and I don't belong there, and my skills, they don't deserve my skills as a salesman because of the new approaches of the corporate world, and I can't be myself there to really be me, which is why I get sales, because of my attitude and my personality and my enthusiasm that I love talking about what I do at my job. I lost track there. I was gonna turn it around, and then I went back. But oh my gosh, it is so important. But I noticed it because I started doing the little things. I started reading again. I started listening to audio again, doing the daily takeoff checklist and really getting into it, and slapping myself in the face every morning. That initiative and leadership, it's almost like sometimes I can't read it because it's such a slap in the face, and even talking about how the only reason I'm going to this job is because I'm showing initiative and leadership, because the things that I do in my small daily work is what's going to make me succeed when I don't have to go back there. And I'm, succeeding in other things than this basic job, which I'm very grateful for, by the way. Let's get that clear. But the whole point is you become what you think about most of the time. And if you don't know this information to even be able to notice this, I don't know how you're ever going to be able to change your thinking. This is why it's, 99.9% is your thoughts. But, whatever the number is, your thinking is your most important. And, and I'm living proof, because all I'm obsessed with and all I'm thinking about at my job and at home is how I'm succeeding at my job. And the only thing I'm achieving in my life is succeeding at my job. Now, but to notice that and be okay, I'm at home and I need to start living like what I do want, living the life I do want, and seeing the picture and getting obsessed, even at my job, getting obsessed with being blessed enough at this job that I can do other things and grow. Man, major wake up call, man. You have to be constantly doing the little things, reading, listening to positive affirmations, embodying yourself with positive things, whether it be even just music. For myself, like music at certain frequencies, I love walking around my home, listening to this music at certain frequencies and walking around picturing what I want. But like I said, I've noticed this a while back, but you have to be able to recognize it. So it's just, man, I notice that when I'm not doing the little things, and I'm not having the positive conversations about my job. When I'm not doing the little things, I'm having negative conversations with managers in my head. I'm having negative. When I send an email to another coworker, wanting it to be a positive email, I'm having a negative conversations with my managers about the result of that email I sent, even though the email was positive, because I'm not doing the little things that raise my vibration on a daily level where I am operating at the best version of myself. I can't stress this enough. And I'm only talking like just the last few days, I started changing. I started noticing it. Like, why am I just walking? Because I'm so ready, and I have been taking. Don't get me wrong. I've been taking action on a thing. I've been taking a lot of action on what I want. But I haven't had the correct thinking, which is rare for me, because usually my thinking is correct, but my actions aren't enough. But recently I've noticed, I'm taking actions towards the things I want, but I'm constantly thinking about what I don't want anymore. And I'm having this hard little struggle here with myself. So this is just, I just, man, I hope this made sense. I hope you can kind of get what I'm talking about. I hate to be a broken record. I just want to repeat it over and over and over. But I just hope this kind of sinks in and makes some sense about what I'm going through, that you can get a taste, that you can kind of see it for yourself. It's not difficult to see. This isn't difficult information. But it takes a long time to learn and perfect it, and even be able to be aware of what you're doing to be able to change it. It's huge. Man. So, I hope I got it all out.
So yeah, my thing is, like, whatever you prioritize, that's what you're going to have. So if you prioritize that job that you currently work, and that's your priority, and that's where you're putting all your time. You can call something your priority. Like, I can call my wife my priority, but say I had a side girl, right? And that's who I went to see instead of working on my relationship with my wife, and that's who I went to see all the time, and then that's who I'm truly prioritizing, even though I'm like, no, I'm married and this is my girl. Like, things are probably going to work out with that, and my marriage is going to fall apart. So
yeah, but your action is wrong, but your thinking is still. Well, I guess you could say wrong too, but
wherever you prioritize, whether you call it your priority or not, like your job you currently have, you're saying isn't your priority, but if that's all you're thinking about and that's all you're doing, then that's your priority. So wherever you prioritize, that's what will work out. So I deal with the same thing. I have my business and I prioritize that because I see that as being the most obvious, quickest way to get that basic money to cover my bills and stuff, because got to feed kids, got to pay bills. And it's like, well, then now that's what I have, a very successful business, and I'm able to feed my kids and that. But I don't have what I say is what I priority want to do, because there's a very fine line between floating with what you have as a regular, the sheeple thing where all the people do the same thing, and then the dreamers and trying to get to that big thing. You almost have to bang it out at work as hardcore as you can, and because you like to do everything the best you can do, you always put your best foot forward, and then come home and fucking put in the same effort you just did knocking it out at work into your thing. And that's where I'm at. Like, I'm like, okay, so I banged it out. I worked my ass off. I made all this money. Now it's time to do that same effort. You need to double time. You basically have to, at first, it's that momentum thing. You got to build this momentum. And at first, it's very hard to get going and get that momentum. And it is very helpful, like you said, to read a book. Get your mind right. Because what I'm struggling at right now is getting my mind right, because I feel defeated. But then I have to reverse engineer why I'm defeated. And I go, well, you might have really wanted this, but if you think about everything you put into the ether and the existence, into existence, none of it's there. You've been working, but you don't have, say I want to be a producer. You don't have any beats you put out on the internet lately for a year. You haven't done your sync licensing. You haven't been contacting the people on Instagram and DMing them and trying to sell. So you put no emphasis other than I made 150 beats in the last probably 3 weeks. And
150.
80% of them are bangers, bro. I'm talking the best beats I've ever made, 80% of them.
This is freaking awesome.
80% of them are the best beats I've ever made in my life. So I'm talking super, like, so banging that I don't want to mess them up, so I won't even touch them. But anyway, different genres and stuff, but they're just fucking slappers. But anyway, so the thing is, I worked really hard and made all these beats, but who knows about them? Are they out there, or are they sitting on my hard drive? So realistically, it's just like, I think about it with the eBay thing. I can have all this stuff in my garage that I purchased that I can flip and sell. Like, say I got a Maserati and a Lamborghini in my garage, and I can flip them and sell them. And I bought them for $20,000. I can flip them and sell it for $120,000 for this Lambo, right? Older Lambo. I can flip it and sell it. But it's just sitting in my garage, and I haven't put it on the classifieds. I haven't put it on Facebook Marketplace. I haven't put it on Craigslist. I haven't put it in at a car lot. I haven't so it's as good as never gonna happen. And same thing with like eBay. Like, I got all this stuff in my garage to sell and flip, but I didn't post it on eBay, so it doesn't exist. So it's not even an opportunity to even happen. Same with the music thing. You didn't put it out there. Same thing if you're writing books, you're creating informational products, or say you want a job but you didn't put any resumes out. It could be anything. If you didn't put something out, like I spent 3 months writing this perfect resume, but did you submit it? Are you on LinkedIn? Did you, oh, okay, well then it's good as not done. So, well, I'm just busy with my job. my current job. So I'm trying to put my resume out there. So I'm still a cashier, even though I went to college at Harvard for, poli sci, and I could get this professor job at blah 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 community college, but I'm busy with my job. Well, now you're gonna forever be the best, cashier at Target. And you could put your resume out there. You went to school, you did all this stuff, but there's these next steps. So it's like a lot of us have half the pie done. We have to finish the pie, or it's uncooked. You know what I mean? It's unfinished. And a pie, you could set it all up. What do you mean? I put the pie together, I got the crust, I like pinched all the sides so it looks all cool and stuff, and I put the cover and I even slit the top so it'll look all cool. But you didn't put it in the oven. It ain't gonna be edible until you put that thing in the oven. Let it cook. So a lot of us, prioritize whatever we feel is what we know and what we've been taught in schools and all that, and that is to work a regular job, do the basic stuff. And for us, we believe that down to our core. And the problem is, what we're saying we prioritize, our dream, we don't believe down to our core. And so what's funny is a lot of us are not prioritizing. We're saying we want it. We're saying it. But we're putting all the effort and action into our job. I'm working a decent $50,000-$60,000 job, and I'm doing 110%, and I'm killing it. Well, okay. That's what you get. That's what you get to have. Now to go do that same effort, 110 on what you're saying you want. Because if you don't, you aren't going to get that, It's like I worked really hard at sewing a hat, but I really want to sew this sweater. But I sat there and sewed on this hat the whole time, and then when I'm done with this hat, then I'll go to sewing that sweater, and I got a couple stitches on that sweater. It's like, well, it ain't a sweater, so put the same effort you put into the hat. So the same thing is like whatever you prioritize, whatever it is you're doing. Like same thing with me in my business. I'm be slapping on that business. I'm like, yeah, it's doing a great job, but guess what? I worked so hard on that shit. I'm so tired by the time I want to do all the things I say I really want. And so my reality is I have what I've prioritized. And what's fucked up is you get stuck in this limbo mode because you're mad at where you're at doing the 110%, and you're resenting that, and you really want to be here, and now you're just getting fucking pissed off, and now you're just disgruntled, and you're just mad because, God, I'm over here and I don't want to be here. I don't want to, and then that's all you're doing, and you don't want to be here. And so sometimes you can get caught where you're doing both things half-ass. Now you're mad you're here, it's taking all your time, and then that starts to fail, and then you start losing that basic money. Like, you got to understand, you got to just kill it at both. Because get this, whatever you're doing now that you're spending all your time thinking about prioritizing, it is the thing, and it is the bridge to where you're trying to be. So you have to understand, you must kill it at the job you're at to help fund and help you get to that next stepping stone that is where you're trying to go to. And you just got to kill it at everything. You just got to rock it at your job, and then your business, and then you got to rock it at those like extra things. Your little side thing, turn it into, you want to turn it into the main thing, well then you're gonna have to put 200% on that shit. So you're gonna kill it at what you're at, and then you're gonna have to kill it at the next thing too. And that's just all there is to it, man. I realize this is, I just got to be kick-ass all around. I've got to turn into like the biggest, baddest machine. I'm the T2000, Like I'm not the T800 or whatever the first model was. Like it's the T2000. I got to be a better version of myself.
The next model.
Yeah, I got to be the next version of myself. I'm not the Rob almost that was, slacking off and watching Netflix. So I need to be a different person, and I need to be the best version of the next version of myself, right? But if I keep thinking it's hard for the old Robert. It's not hard for the new T2000 Robert, right? It's not hard for the new version Robert. The new version Robert wakes up at 5 a.m., goes to bed at 9. You know what I mean? Gets his sleep, gets up early, cracks, and then when he's done with whatever he's got to do by 3 o'clock, then he goes in even harder at the new stuff to get the new shit popping. And he executes, and he don't play. And when someone asks him to do something else, he says, sorry, I can't do it. When somebody says, you want a beer? Nah. I need whatever I need to keep it popping, and I'm going to have to do that for a while. You know, you can't be the version of yourself that was slacking off and procrastinating. You got to be the new version of yourself. Be that behavior until it becomes your habit, and it becomes who you really are at heart. I know at one point in my life I felt like I was a slacker. You know, it's at work, I feel like, man, whatever I could do, I'd work really hard at slacking off. Like, how can I walk around these aisles so, like, eventually no one will see me, but I was pretending I'm doing shit. But I was busting my ass slacking. I was working super hard as being a slacker. Like, man, it's a lot easier just to hunker down on one of these aisles and clean it up, make it look good. It's like, damn, it's a lot easier just to do my job. And then eventually that became a behavior to where now I take pride. And the next thing you know, I'm moving up. I'm a boss. And then I'm running shit, you know, like, and then I believe those are fundamentally in me. And I almost forgot that old Rob that was a slacker working his ass off to hide and not work hard. You know, how can I work my ass off to just like slack over here in the corner, and if I just hide back here by the towel saw, I just never have to do shit. And then you forget who that person is. Like, to my core, I'm not a slack. I wake up early. I just work. I work 7 days a week. That's all there is to it. I work 7 days a week, and I love it. I love it. You know, like Tyson says, he says, you got to do what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. And that's the key to success. Like, the shit you hate doing, like editing the videos and all that stuff, and do it like you love it. Because the other people go, man, I hate this. This isn't what I thought this was going to look like. Oh, they give up. You've got to run through the mud for a while before you can lay on the grass. You know what I mean? So, like, run through the mud. Oh, this ain't me, man. I ain't running through no damn mud. I'm better than this. Well, then you can go back there to the dirt and the sand. But if you want to go lay on that grass, you need to run through this damn mud. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't want to do that. And you have to understand that's editing the videos. That's the, you know, the stuff you don't like doing until you get to a level you don't have to. So, you know, you think about the Michael J. Foxes. I mean, they're sleeping in a closet. That's where they live, in the closet. The Fred Durst of the world, his whole studio was his bedroom. He slept in the closet, you know, because he's like, this is what I had to do to get the music popping. Next thing, he's multi-millionaire, you know. But, again, whatever you prioritize is what you will get. So if it is your job and you're like, you know what, this job feeds my kids, and I need to do this job, and it feeds my kids, so don't you tell me. Okay? Now you are the prize winner of a job. Good job. That's what you get.
Good job.
Behind this door is the job you prioritized. Because if that's all you did put effort into because you got to have that job, well, that's what you get. Well, I can't just be over here, you know.
I can't just quit.
I can't just quit and go be the artist I want to be in my life. It's like, no, you're right. You can't. If you have kids and other obligations that you put in your way, you made it harder on yourself. Because if you're 20 and you don't have no kids and no girl and nothing like that, man, I say fucking get a backpack, live out in the freaking dirt, and make it happen without those obligations. So you just go travel wherever it is and get an internship and just start being in that field. But if you're like most people who got bills, you got a college thing, you got debt, you got a child, whatever, car payment you decided to get into, and now you decide you want to be a superstar. Bottom line is, man, you got to rock at what you're doing and then rock after the fact at what you're trying to do, you know. And you're right, you can't just quit that job. You got to feed your children. That's where I'm at too. I just got to kick ass at all of it. Look at this. I'm over here. I just finished, as we got on this podcast, I'm finishing up the beats I was working on to get on the podcast. I mean, it's what you got to do, you know. Like, you got to figure out, time manage, get your stuff going. I found myself getting sidetracked with a bunch of dumb shit. Like, I got a 3D printer and I want to 3D print all kinds of cool stuff. I'm 3D printing my new neon sign. I'm figuring out how to use all the 3D software to make my own signs, and you'll see it in the back because I'll have it built. But the bottom line is, it takes up more of my time, and it's like, you know, when you're kicking ass at your current thing because you got to feed your kids, you got to do your duties and your obligations and responsibilities, and then you want to go 110% at the next thing. Well, how can you add all that extra stuff you want to do? But I want to do 3D renderings of this, and I want to build my own toys, and I want to, you know, it's like you need to slow it down and pick a couple things and stick to it. You know, in fact, stick to one thing and learn how it feels to finish it. You know, and then get to the next thing. You know. But it's a tricky thing, and again, whatever you prioritize, that's what you're gonna deal with. That's what Will was talking about. He's prioritized his current job, and then that's why he doesn't have what he's doing now. You know, he keeps fiddling with stuff because he's just too restless. Can't just let good be good.
I can't. Yeah.
Now we can
totally.
see half of his body because he moved the camera. So
did I?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I don't care. So
Well, I do. I want to be in the screen.
Well, stop moving the camera. So
I didn't even know I bumped it.
Just let it be good. I don't move my camera in the middle of this shit. I just like, it's on until we're done. So but again,
I just had to move this light.
Whatever you prioritize, though, that's what it is, and you have to understand. I understand people got bills and all that stuff. I'm living that, you know. I get it. So I do my shit, and then after, I get tired. You're right. And then my wife wants me to cook. I'm the one who cooks in the house. My wife wants dinner, and I like to cook, so I make dinner, and I figured out how to make that work. And I gotta feed the kids, and I gotta clean the dishes and do this other shit. Man, I laugh because I was telling my kids today, I was like, you know what's funny, man? That time from 6 to 9, I find myself watching some Netflix and being tired, and then going, I'll get in the studio here in 15 more minutes. 15 minutes I'll be in there. And that 15 minutes comes up, and then I'm like, maybe 5 more minutes. And 15 more. And then next thing gets so close to the last hour of time I would have had to do that before going to bed. Then I'm like, man, it's an hour. You know what? I'm just going to get a good night's sleep, and then tomorrow. And then you just add 365 of those, and a year goes by, and you ain't done shit, you know. So the thing is, you have time, and I have a whole table of time of tell you how much time in your day, if you even add in an hour a day of movie watching and work and the drive time and your lunch time at work, all that shit, time to make love to whoever you're hanging out with, time for your kids, times for all that stuff, eating food, break times, all that shit, exercise, and you still have like hundreds of hours. You just like screwing off every week. We have no excuse. So if you have 8 jobs, okay, you got 8 jobs, I get it. But if you don't, then shut the hell up and get to working and take some ownership on your slacking, you know. And that's what I think about. Like, I haven't done it, but you know what, 6 to 9, I find myself being hell tired from the day of like working, and that's understandable. But you know what, you got to dig deep. Nobody did anything great easily. Nobody did anything great and kept it all their perfect sleep. But I gotta have my perfect sleep. Well, okay, I get it. You're right. You win. Sleeping good is important. Cool. There's your priority. You're gonna die knowing you had great sleep, and you had less wrinkles, and your skin was really good, by the way, because now you didn't look all tired because you were up all the time because you worked so hard and you didn't want to be look weathered. Well, now you're a great looking person who worked a job and did basic shit. You're a great looking basic ass person. So you have to understand, at some point you have to sacrifice something, and it might be your skin, it might be your age. You might look 5 years older because you busted your ass. But look at when you get to Jeff Bezos' stage, he got this little neck slid over his face, and now he's got a new facelift. He's looking great. Best shape of his life. The richest man on earth. Flew himself to space. You know? So you just have to prioritize it, and like I said, it's not easy, and you're right, and we all have obligations and responsibilities. But you know what? Kick ass at your job, and then go kick ass at your dream. And you better give your freaking dream more than you gave your job.
More.
And what the truth is, we are not. Your dream is getting whatever you have left.
It's exactly why I did not achieve my goals this year.
It's whatever you have left over after you just kicked ass at that job. Whatever I have left. And you know what? A lot of times you just opt out. Nah. Because guess what? Your job you have to go to. Your dream you don't have to do. You don't have to do your dream. You don't have to do your dream to eat. You know, you don't have to. Now you have a choice to not do it.
Best show.
Yeah. Now you have a dream. You don't have to go do your dream. So guess what? A lot of times you let yourself off the hook. You know what? I'm tired. But you can't do
not
that for
have
work.
to.
You can't do that for work. You got to show up or they fire your ass, and then you got to figure out how to eat again. So you know, now you're doing something really good, but you know what? You have to be the gatekeeper of your dream and be like, you better get your ass up there. And I am not perfect at all. Like I didn't execute everything I wanted to this year. I did a bunch of shit. I did execute a ton of shit, but I didn't do what I wanted to. My dream is to be a robot. So like, you know, how can I just freaking be a soldier? Problem is, I have a drinking problem. You know, it's not like alcoholic, but maybe it is. Who knows? But my point is, it's a problem in the sense that I like to have a drink at night. Well, what happens? I get tired easier, and then it causes me to not finish what I'm doing. So that's a problem. Right? If it's hindering me from my dream, I don't want to be 99 years old, 10 years before my death, because I'll be 109. I don't want to be, 99.
That's
going,
new
damn,
shit for
man,
you on that.
all I got is 10 more years left, and all I did was, drink at night, and that's all I got to do. Like, I got my drink on. Like, no, man, I'm trying to, do something. So again, whatever you prioritize, a lot of times you guys are prioritizing your job because that's important. You got to eat, but understand that's just the basics. That's ground zero. If you want to go above that, you've got to frickin' hunker down, and you got to do 2 jobs, man. You got to do it. You got to grind. You've got to grind past that. You know what I mean? You have to literally find it in you. Take ownership and go, you know what? My thing is this, like, my wife goes, why can't you just relax and just chill? And I'm like, she's like, well, why do you want to do that? What if it never works out? And I'm like, my biggest thing is like, well, what else am I going to do with my time? Be the best TV watcher on earth? Like, watch somebody else experience their life on TV? No, I want to do something, and my big thing is like, what else am I doing with my time? It sure as hell ain't going to be to watch TV, I'll be damned, So, realistically, look at and reevaluate yourself for the new year and think about what you're prioritizing. And if that's what you're doing, that's what you're going to have. So, reevaluate yourself, ask yourself, what do I prioritize with your time, and what are you spending your time on most? That is what you get to have. If it is your music, your business, your whatever, then you probably are on your way. But I guarantee you're not, If you are, you're probably not watching this.
I kind of wanted to go off on some stuff, but you know what? I think that's great. How bad do you want it? I think we need to end with that energy. I do want to say some things. I feel really good about how we're closing this. Yeah, so we'll leave it with that.
Course correct for this next year, and have a great 2022.
100%. Hey, I will say this to sum it up with everything he was saying. Even though, boy, I wanted. How bad do you want it?
Like the air you breathe.
How bad do you want it? Is there anything else I just have to say? I think we're good.
All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to get updates on what we're doing.
Download the daily takeoff checklist. Should be in the description.
Get it.
And the audios, they're done.
Yeah.
Now it's time to put them in the form so you can get them.
Yep. You guys will see a bunch of new stuff coming. It's going to be exciting. 2022.
Yeah, we're closing this year out, right?
Yep.
Closing the
this
year out. Anyway.